Welcome to Bible in a Year with Scott Purcell. I'm so glad you're joining me. This is a daily reading of portions of the Bible, following a plan that will include the entire Bible in a year. And now, let's open the book and begin our readings. This is the reading for day 119. If your reading is aligned with the calendar year, in a non-leap year, this is for April 29th, or in a leap year, for April 28th. The Old Testament reading is from Joshua 15 and Joshua 16. Joshua 15. The allotment for the tribe of the descendants of Judah, according to their families, reached to the border of Edom, to the wilderness of Zin, to the far south. Their southern border was from the end of the Salt Sea, from the bay facing southward. It continues to the south to the ascent of Akrabim, passes along to Zin, it goes up south of Kadesh Barnea, passes along Hezron, goes up to Adar, and makes a turn to Karka. It passes on to Asmon, continues by the Wadi of Egypt, and it ends at the sea. This will be your southern border. The eastern border is the Salt Sea up to the mouth of the Jordan. The border on the northern side runs from the bay of the sea at the mouth of the Jordan. The border goes up to Beth Hoglah and passes along north of Beth Arabah. And the border goes up the stone of Bohan, son of Reuben. And the border goes up to Debir from the valley of Achor, and to the north turning to Gilgal, which is opposite the ascent of Adumim, which is south of the Wadi. And the border passes on to the waters of En Shemesh, and it ends at En Rogel. Then the border goes up by the valley of Ben Hinnom to the slope of the Jebusites from the south, that is, Jerusalem. And the border goes up to the top of the mountain that lies opposite the valley of Hinnom to the west, which is at the end of the valley of Rephaim to the north. Then the border turns from the top of the mountain to the spring of the waters of Nephtoah, and continues from there to the cities of Mount Ephron. The border then turns to Baalah, that is, Kiriath Jearim. And the border goes around from Baalah to the west to Mount Seir, and passes on to the slope of Mount Jearim from the north, that is, Kesalon, and goes down to Beth Shemesh and passes along by Timnah. The border continues to the slope of Ekron to the north, then bends around to Shikeron. It passes on to Mount Baalah and continues to Jabneel, and the border ends at the sea. And the western border is to the great sea and its coast. This is the border surrounding the descendants of Judah according to their families. According to the commandment of Yahweh to Joshua, he gave Caleb, son of Jephunneh, a plot of ground among the descendants of Judah, Kiriath Arba, which is Hebron. Arba was Anak's father. Caleb drove out from there 3 of Anak's sons, Sheshai, Ahiman, and Talmai, the descendants of Anak. And from there he went up against the inhabitants of Debir. The former name of Debir was Kiriath Sepher. And Caleb said, "Whoever attacks Kiriath Sepher and captures it, I will give to him my daughter Aksah as a wife." Othniel, son of Kenaz, the brother of Caleb, captured it, and he gave to him Aksah his daughter as a wife. When she came to him, she urged him to ask her father for a field. So she dismounted from the donkey, and Caleb said to her, "What do you want?" And she said to him, "Give to me a gift. You have given me the land of the Negev, and you must give to me a spring of water." And he gave to her the upper and lower spring. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the descendants of Judah, according to their families. The cities belonging to the tribe of the descendants of Judah to the far south, To the border of Edom to the south were Kabzeel, Eder, Jagur, Kena, Dimona, Adada, Kadesh, Hazor, Ithnan, Ziph, Telem, Baaloth, Hazor Hadattah, Kirioth Hezron, that is Hazor, Amam, Shema, Moladah, Hazar Gada, Heshmon, Beth Pelet, Hazar Shual, Beersheba, Biziothia, Baalah, Iyam, Ezim, Eltolad, Kezel, Hormah, Ziklag, Madmanah, Sansannah, Lebaoth, Shilhim, Ain, and Rimmon. In all, 29 cities and their villages. In the Shephelah, Eshtaol, Zorah, Ashna, Zanoah, En-Ganim, Tapua, Enan, Jarmuth, Adullam, Soko, Azekah, Shearim, Aditaim, Gedera, and Gederothaim, 14 cities and their villages. Zenan, Hadashah, Migdal-Gad, Delian, Mizpah, Joktheel, Lachish, Bozkath, Eglon, Kabon, Lama, Kitlish, Gederoth, Beth-Dagon, Naamah, and Makkedah, 16 cities and their villages. Libnah, Ether, Ashan, Jephthah, Ashna, Nezib, Keilah, Aksib, and Mareshah, 9 cities and their villages. Ekron, its towns and villages, from Ekron to the sea, and all that were near Ashdod and their villages. Ashdod, its towns and villages. Gaza, its towns and villages, up to the Wadi of Egypt, and the great sea and its coast. And in the hill country, Shamir, Jatir, Soko, Dana, Kiriath-Sana, that is Debir, Anab, Eshtimo, Anim, Goshen, Holon, and Gilo, 11 cities and their villages. Arab, Duma, Ishan, Janim, Beth Tappuah, Aphekah, Humtah, Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, and Zeor, 9 cities and their villages. Maon, Carmel, Ziph, Juttah, Jezreel, Jokdeam, Zanoah, Cain, Gibeah, and Timnah, 10 cities and their villages. Halhul, Beth-Zur, Gedor, Maarath, Beth-Anan, and Eltekon, 6 cities and their villages. Kiriath Baal, that is Kiriath Jearim, and Rabbah, 2 cities and their villages. In the wilderness, Beth Arabah, Middim, Sekakah, Nibshan, the city of salt, and Engedi, 6 cities and their villages. But the descendants of Judah were unable to drive out the Jebusites, the inhabitants of Jerusalem. So the Jebusites live with the descendants of Judah in Jerusalem to this day. Joshua 16. The allotment of the descendants of Joseph went from the Jordan by Jericho, at the waters of Jericho to the east, into the wilderness, going up from Jericho into the hill country to Bethel. It continues from Bethel to Luz, and it passes along to the territory of the Archites at Ataroth. Then it goes down to the west to the territory of the Japhletites, up to the territory of lower Beth Horon, then to Gezer, and it ends at the sea. And the descendants of Joseph, Manasseh, and Ephraim received their inheritance. This was the border of the descendants of Ephraim according to their families. The border of their inheritance to the east was Ataroth Adar up to Upper Beth Horon. The border continues to the sea. From Mikmethath to the north, the border turns to the east to Tanath Shiloh, and it passes along it from the east to Genoa. Then it goes down from Genoa to Ataroth and to Nara. It touches Jericho, and it ends at the Jordan. From Tapua, the border goes to the west, to the Wadi of Cana, and it ends at the sea. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the descendants of Ephraim according to their families, with the cities that were set apart for the descendants of Ephraim in the midst of the inheritance of the descendants of Manasseh, all the cities and their villages. But they did not drive out the Canaanites who were dwelling in Gezer, and so the Canaanites live in the midst of Ephraim to this day, but they became forced laborers. The New Testament reading is from John 1, verses 1 through 28. John 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. This one was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him, and apart from him not one thing came into being that has come into being. In him was life, and the life was the light of humanity. And the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. A man came, sent from God, whose name was John. This one came for a witness, in order that he could testify about the light, so that all would believe through him. That one was not the light, but came in order that he could testify about the light. The true light, who gives light to every person, was coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world came into being through him, and the world did not recognize him. He came to his own things, and his own people did not receive him. But as many as received him, to those who believe in his name, he gave to them authority to become children of God, who were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of a husband, but of God. And the Word became flesh, and took up residence among us, and we saw his glory, glory as of the one and only from the Father, full of grace and truth. John testified about him and cried out, saying, "This one was he about whom I said, 'The one who comes after me is ahead of me, because he existed before me.' For from his fullness we have all received, and grace after grace. For the law was given through Moses. Grace and truth came about through Jesus Christ. No one has seen God at any time. The one and only God, the one who is in the bosom of the Father, that one has made him known." And this is the testimony of John, when the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem so that they could ask him, "Who are you?" And he confessed, and he did not deny, and confessed, "I am not the Christ." And they asked him, "Then who are you? Are you Elijah?" And he said, "I am not." "Are you the prophet?" And he answered, "No." Then they said to him, "Who are you, so that we can give an answer to those who sent us? What do you say about yourself?" He said, "I am the voice of one crying out in the wilderness, 'Make straight the way of the Lord. just as Isaiah the prophet said. And they had been sent out from the Pharisees. And they asked him and said to him, Why then are you baptizing, if you are not the Christ, nor Elijah, nor the prophet? John answered them, saying, I baptize with water. In your midst stands one whom you do not know, the one who comes after me, of whom I am not worthy to untie the strap of his sandal. These things took place in Bethany, on the other side of the Jordan, where John was baptizing. The wisdom literature reading is from Psalm 53, verses 1 through 6. Psalm 53. For the music director, according to Mahalath, a maskil of David. The fool says in his heart, There is no God. They are corrupt, and they have done abominable iniquity. There is none who does good. God looks down from heaven upon the children of humankind to see whether there is one who has insight, one who seeks God. All of them have turned back. They are altogether corrupt. There is none who does good. There's not even one. Do not evildoers know, they who eat my people as though they were eating bread? They do not call on God. There they are very fearful, where no fear has been, because God has scattered the bones of him who encamps against you. You have put them to shame because God has rejected them. Oh, that from Zion would come salvation for Israel. When God returns the fortunes of his people, let Jacob rejoice, let Israel be glad. This concludes the reading for day 119. Thank you for listening. These daily readings are made possible by your generous support of the Global Outreach Ministry of Scott Purcell. To partner with us and enable this work and others like it, please visit huttobible.com/give and select Go Pastor Support from the fund list. You can also sign up for ministry updates at scott-purcell.epistle.org/subscribe. Both of those links can be found in the podcast description. Thank you for helping us share God's Word.